Okay, the first pieces we're going to put on the actual bed are these long 3-foot pieces of hook and loop. You can see they have 3M adhesive on the back of them. They actually ride, I checked on the bed bottom, they ride on the top of this ridge here, and they line up with where you can see where the bolt goes down to hold the bed down. It goes from here up to the bed or up towards the bulkhead. So we're going to clean those. We've got some acetone, any sort of non-petroleum cleaner. But we're going to clean that really good to make sure we get good purchase all along that rail. This is the only piece we're going to put on before we put the BedRug in, because once we have the BedRug in, we can pull it back to do the sides and make sure that we get it matched up perfectly. So just going to clean these, put this hook and loop in, and then drop the BedRug in. Okay, so we've got the BedRug initially laid in. It matched up with our Velcro because you can see it's in there now. I wanted to point out a couple of features I talked about earlier. The next thing we're going to install is we're going to put our boxes back in so that we can make sure we can line it up before we put all of the hook and loop around the rest of it. But you can see down here they've actually got cutouts because they knew that these cargo hooks existed on the Toyota truck. So they've already cut out a piece to make it easy to get access to those. You can look here on the tailgate. You can see they've pre-drilled holes or pre-cut holes in the BedRug material so that we can tuck this up underneath the tailgate cap. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to make sure we get everything situated in the bed, and then we'll do the tailgate last. But first we're going to put those cargo boxes back in. Okay, so we've got these 3-inch sections of hook and loop that we're just placing along the side rails. We're using a lot on this back because obviously stuff rubbing against this is going to pull on it. So we want to have plenty of adhesion. So once we've got the hook and loop located on the strip that's molded into the BedRug, we can kind of look and see where it is, get our denatured alcohol or whatever we're using to clean with, acetone in our case, and just clean everything one last time before we put it on. And then it's a simple process of peeling the backing off all of our hook and loop. And we'll place it on there. Like that. We'll do that process all the way up the sides, and then we'll do the bulkhead. We'll show you how that goes. We'll be right back. Okay, so we've got all the sides in, got everything Velcro down, fits really good. The only thing left we have to do now is the tailgate, and we'll be done. Okay, so we've got the tailgate ready to go. It's the last piece to install. You can see there's a hook and loop strip at the bottom. So we're just going to peel it back, line it up with the ridges. Again, like I told you in the other videos, you're going to want to put your hook and loop along the high areas on the tailgate so that they obviously connect the way that you want them to. So we're going to put a few pieces along here, and we'll clean that again with acetone. We'll be done. So we've got our hook and loop on. This is the last of the hook and loop that we're going to be using for the install. But before we make the last contact, as I showed you before, there's holes up here in the top of it. It actually tucks underneath the tailgate cap. But before you do that, you can see BedRug has actually provided some little poly grommets that we're going to put in these holes. The reason that's important is once we tuck this in and put these in the bolts, when you're sliding stuff on the tailgate, it's going to pull on those holes, and this protects that hole from tearing out once you've got this all installed. So make sure you put the grommets in before you tuck it in. Okay, once you've got everything bolted at the top of the tailgate part, remember we put that hook and loop on, but before we push it down, you've got this extra material that you're going to want to tuck in inside the tailgate hinged area here before you put that hook and loop down to make sure that everything looks nice and finished. And you'll do a little test run of the tailgate, make sure everything closes up fine, and we're done. Okay, so in every bed there's going to be different cargo hooks and different attachments, so you have the freedom to have a couple of different options on how you want to deal with that. Sometimes guys will just cut a slot in the material and slide the hook through it, or you can take the hook off altogether, cut a few holes where the bolts go, and then bolt it on top of the material. It's totally up to you, but just know there's going to be some custom fitting if you have those kind of features on your truck. It's really easy to deal with. Again, you can just cut a slot and run the hook through, or you can take the hook off and reattach it. It's totally up to you. So with these cutouts that we have for these bed cargo hooks, they're great. They do make it a little harder to swivel the hooks around. So we talked to the owner of this truck. We're going to go ahead and cut these off for him. Totally up to you. If you're not going to be using these hooks much, you might just leave the hooks underneath it. And if you needed access, you've got the pre-cuts from BedRug there. But if you know you're going to be using them a lot, you might just go ahead and cut this flap off. It's totally up to you. There we go. So now that we've shown you how easy this is to install, let's talk about some of the reasons of why you would want a BedRug in your truck. First and foremost, as you can see, it does change the look of the bed of the truck. It gives it a much more finished look, a much cleaner look. It does really give you that premium feel. It's very soft to the touch. If you're going to be putting stuff in that's sensitive or fragile or scuffs, it's a great option if you're carrying cargo like that, because it is giving you that soft feel, that soft touch. You're not going to be scratching up the finish on something that's painted or something like that. It also gives you extra cushioning. It's much easier to be on. If you're a camper and you're going to be camping out of your truck, it does give you almost a built-in bed pad in the truck itself. One thing to keep in mind about the material that BedRug uses is they've gone to great lengths to make sure they're using the right material for a truck that's going to be used as a truck. So it's going to be very stain resistant, it's going to hold up very well, it's going to be able to be washed out, it's going to hold up to UV rays, any sort of chemicals that you may be having in it. If you spill some gasoline or battery acid or anything like that, it's going to be able to be washed right out. It's not going to affect the material itself. So it's a really premium material. As you can see, they've cut it very well. It fits perfectly in the truck. Just a great option, and something you should take a serious look at if you're doing your truck. So thanks for watching In the Garage with Total Truck Centers. As always, there's part information, description information, and links to our website where you can find a local Total Truck Centers who can help you with a project like this or whatever you're looking to do. As always, hit the subscribe button so you can get notifications about the videos we do in the future.